Have you ever known exactly what you wanted, but right now you simply didn't have the money, the resources, the opportunity, or even the exact path to make it happen yet? That can be frustrating because you can see the life you want, you can imagine it, you can feel drawn toward it. But then you look at your current circumstances and they don't match. And that's where a lot of people get stuck. They think, if I can't fully act on it yet, what am I supposed to do? Here's what I've been learning in my own life. You may not be able to live your desired life physically today, but you can begin living from it mentally today. And that part you can start right now. I've been practicing this myself, and I've noticed how easy it is to get pulled back into what I see around me, what hasn't happened yet, what I don't have, what went wrong in the past, what feels difficult right now. And if I stay there too long, I can feel my state begin to change. My confidence drops. My thinking gets smaller. I become more focused on limitations than possibilities. So I've started doing something different. When I catch myself slipping into that old state, I stop. I ask, if I were already the person I want to become, how would I be thinking right now? How would I feel? How would I carry myself? How would I handle this problem? How would I respond to this conversation? What would I focus on? And when I really do that, something changes. And I know this might sound crazy, but give it a try, because I'm noticing it myself. When I truly begin thinking and feeling from the person I want to become, the problems I have today start feeling different. Not because they magically disappear. They don't. The responsibilities are still there. The work still has to be done. The situation itself may look exactly the same, but I'm different while I'm dealing with it. I'm calmer. I'm more confident. I think more clearly. I react less emotionally. I see possibilities I couldn't see when I was completely consumed by frustration. The circumstances may not have changed yet, but the person meeting those circumstances has. And that matters. Because when the person changes, the decisions can change. Now, let me make something clear. Thinking and feeling from your desired life does not mean pretending. It does not mean ignoring reality. If you don't have the money right now, you don't pretend that you do. If there's a responsibility in front of you, you handle it. If there's a problem, you deal with it. But you stop allowing your current circumstances to decide who you have to be internally. You can acknowledge where you are today without allowing where you are today to become your identity. You can say, this is where I am right now, but this is not who I'm becoming. Let's say you want to start a business. You know what you want to build. You can see it clearly, but maybe you don't have enough money yet. There may be things you literally cannot do today. That's real. But does that mean you have to spend today thinking like someone who is powerless? No. You can learn. You can prepare. You can become more disciplined. You can improve how you communicate. You can become better with money. You can study people who are already doing what you want to do. You can begin becoming the person who will be ready when the opportunity appears. And as you do that, you may begin noticing things you didn't notice before. A conversation, an idea, a resource, an opportunity. Something that was easy to miss when your attention was locked onto everything you lacked. That's why the inner work matters. You're not just preparing for the life, you're preparing the person who will live it. This is where imagination becomes powerful, not as an escape from reality, as rehearsal. You're rehearsing how that version of you thinks, how that person handles pressure, how that person responds to setbacks, how that person makes decisions, how that person carries themselves. And the more you practice that state, the more familiar it becomes. That's what I mean when I talk about programming. You're making a new way of thinking, a new way of feeling, and a new identity which is more familiar. But this does not replace action. It prepares you for better action. If you can act today, act. If you can make the call, make it. If you can learn something, learn it. If you can start, start. But if there is something you genuinely cannot do yet because the means or resources simply aren't there, don't spend that waiting period reinforcing the identity you're trying to leave. Use the time. Build yourself. Build your confidence. Build your knowledge. Build your discipline. And when the opportunity appears, move. When the resource becomes available, use it. When the door opens, walk through it. So here's what I want you to try. The next time you catch yourself spending too much time mentally living in your past or letting your current circumstances pull you into an old state, stop just for a moment and ask, what would the person I'm becoming do with this moment? How would they think? How would they feel? How would they respond? What would they do next? Then do your best to meet that moment from there. You don't have to do it perfectly. You're going to drift. I drift. Everyone does. The important thing is return. And when you drift again, return again. Because the more you return, the more familiar that state becomes. And here's the part I really want you to hear. You don't have to wait for your circumstances to change before you change your state. Maybe you don't have the money yet. Maybe you don't have the resources. And maybe you don't have the connections. Maybe you genuinely have to wait on certain things, but you do not have to wait to begin becoming the person who will know what to do when those things arrive. You can begin today. That means you're not just waiting for your future, you're preparing for it. And that's a completely different way to live. So think from the life you desire, feel from the person you're becoming, handle today from that state. And when the means, the resources, and the opportunities become available, take action. Because the goal isn't to escape your current life. The goal is to stop letting your current life decide who you are becoming. And if this message speaks to you, try it for the next few days. Catch yourself when you drift back into the old fear, the old frustration, the old identity, and return. Then, pay attention to what starts changing inside of you. Your confidence, your decisions, your reactions, your focus. That's where the transformation begins. And if you want to go deeper into this process, I've put the complete Mastery of State framework into my ebook, Master Your State. The link is in the description below. And if this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share it with somebody who feels trapped by their current circumstances. And tell me in the comments, if you were already living as the person you want to become, what would you think and feel differently today? Remember, your future isn't created by what you want. It's created by the state you return to every day. And please remember, we're all created by God with purpose. Keep becoming who you were created to be. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.